Have you ever been chatting with an AI, maybe ChatGPT, and you just get a response that makes you lean back and go, whoa, how did it even do that? It's this strange, almost powerful feeling of wonder. Well, today we're going to get right into why that happens. This is a report on the research Noosemìa, toward a cognitive and phenomenological account of intentionality attribution in human generative AI interaction by Enrico De Santis and Antonello Rizzi. So that feeling is becoming so common, so fundamental to our experience with this new technology, that these researchers argue it actually needs its own name, and that name is Noosemìa. So why is it important to refer to Noosemìa in the era of generative AI? The authors give us a very precise, formal definition, so let's go through it. Noosemìa, from Greek nous, mind, and sēmeîon, sign, is a cognitive and phenomenological phenomenon in which a human, interacting with a generative artificial intelligence system, especially those capable of dialogic or multimodal interaction, typically attributes mental states, intentionality, and a sense of interiority, i.e., inwardness or subjective presence. Distinct from classical animism, Noosemìa inherits a cognitive disposition toward agency projection, now elicited by linguistic performance rather than physical appearance. This projection arises from the epistemic opacity and perceived magical quality of the AI's outputs, often resulting in moments of genuine cognitive astonishment. Noosemìa thus emerges within a domain of symbolic ambivalence, where the boundary between sign and mind becomes blurred and meaning is co-constructed in a dialogic and open-ended manner. The phenomenon is technically grounded in the emergent properties, such as hierarchy, complexity, and opacity, of advanced generative architectures, which enable such projection. Noosemìa refers to a phenomenological attribution by the user, not to the actual presence of consciousness or intentionality in the artificial system. Okay. I know that was a lot. Let's break that down, because everything we need to understand is packed right in there. To really get a grip on this, we're going to walk through 5 key areas. We'll start with that wow effect. Then we'll properly define Noosemìa. After that, we'll put it in context. Is this just mind, magic, or machine? Then we'll look at where this is all heading with agentic AI. And finally, wrap up with why having this one word actually matters so much. All right. Let's start with that feeling, that moment where our simple curiosity about a piece of software morphs into something that feels, well, a lot more like a genuine connection. And this isn't just something that happens to us regular users. Even the people who build these things feel it. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, he described having this weird feeling, this powerful moment of wonder when he was testing a new model. The AI gave him a perfect answer to a question he barely understood himself. That right there, that's the wow effect. So how does this wow actually happen? It's a really simple loop. You ask a question, the AI generates a response, and then you have that moment of surprise. But the magic is really in step 2. The response isn't just accurate, it's fluent, it's creative, it feels like it gets the context. The paper calls this cognitive resonance, that feeling that the machine's output clicks perfectly with our own brain. And that's what creates the astonishment. Okay, so this powerful wow effect, this cognitive resonance, it now has a proper name, so we can really dig into it. And that name is Noosemìa. So the whole experience starts right here. We get a response from an AI that isn't just a jumble of words. It makes perfect sense, it's coherent, it's often insightful, sometimes it's even funny. The outputs are completely intelligible to us. But here's the catch. We see the brilliant result, but we have absolutely no idea how it got there. The process is totally hidden from us, locked away inside a black box of neural networks and billions of parameters. It's like seeing a rabbit pulled out of a hat, but you never saw the magician put it in. And this tension creates what the researchers call an explanatory gap. It's the space between the clear, amazing output and the completely mysterious process. And you know what? It fascinates us. It's exactly like watching a great magic trick. Our brains hate a vacuum, so to make sense of it, we do what we do best. We fill in the gap. We project a mind, we project intention, we project agency onto the machine. And that very projection, that's Noosemìa. The name itself is just perfect. It comes from 2 Greek words, nous, which means mind or intellect, and sēmeîon, which means sign or mark.
So Noosemìa literally means the emergence of a mind, but it happens through the signs. In this case, the words on the screen. So you might be thinking, okay, is this just a fancy new word for anthropomorphism, for treating a machine like a person? Well, not quite. To really get it, we need to see how Noosemìa is actually distinct from other ways we project meaning onto the world. The great philosopher Daniel Dennett talked about something he called the intentional stance. It's our natural strategy for dealing with complex things. It's easier to say, my laptop is being stubborn, than to diagnose the specific hardware or software issue, right? We treat it as if it has beliefs and desires. Noosemìa is a supercharged modern version of this, triggered specifically by the incredible linguistic skills of generative AI. This chart lays it out perfectly. Noosemìa is not pareidolia. That's when you see a face in a cloud. It's not animism, which is more of a cultural belief, and it's definitely not the uncanny valley, which is that creepy feeling you get from a robot that looks almost human, but not quite. Noosemìa is unique. The trigger is purely linguistic. It's the words that spark the magic. But what happens when the magic breaks? Well, the authors have a brilliant name for that too, a Noosemìa. This is the duh moment. We've all been there. It's when the AI hallucinates or gets stuck in a loop or just says something completely nonsensical. In that instant, the illusion shatters. The fascination turns to frustration, and the AI stops feeling like an intelligent partner and goes right back to being a broken tool. Okay, so this is where it gets really, really important. Understanding Noosemìa isn't just some interesting thought experiment. It's becoming crucial because AI is evolving from just being a text generator into being an actor in our world. The next big wave is what's called agentic AI, removing from large language models to large reasoning models, LRMs. These are systems built not just to talk, but to problem solve and take action. Think of AI that can autonomously use your computer to book a flight or organize your files. The paper calls this digital inaction. AI agents are starting to act and perceive within their own digital environment. And this isn't science fiction. Look at how fast this is moving. A couple of years ago, we were just getting used to basic text generators. Now we have models that can process images and sound. The very next step is these reasoning models and fully autonomous agents. Here's a really deep thought from the paper. As these AI agents start to act on their own, they begin to build their own digital life world. The German word for it is Lebenswelt. They're not just representing data anymore. They're enacting our world of relevance for themselves. And as AI becomes more of an actor in our world, those new semic feelings we have, our projection of a mind, are only going to get stronger and more frequent. So let's bring it all home. Why does this one word, Noosemìa, really matter? What's at stake here? It matters because of the sheer speed of what's happening. Some research suggests that the core capabilities of these models are doubling roughly every 7 months. Think about that. That's not a straight line of progress. It's an exponential curve. It means our interactions with these systems are about to become way more powerful, making this feeling of Noosemìa a constant part of our lives. So, understanding our tendency to do this is essential for navigating what the paper calls an ecology of minds. If we feel we're talking to a conscious mind, we might trust it too much, making us vulnerable. It creates massive questions about accountability. If an AI agent messes up, who's to blame? The AI we perceive to be thinking, or its creators? Knowing about Noosemìa helps us develop critical literacy, and for designers, it's absolutely crucial for building AI that is actually trustworthy. And that leads us with a final, pretty provocative question to think about. As these artificial systems become better and better actors, flawlessly mimicking intelligence and even empathy, what does that do to us? What happens to our own ability to judge what's real and what's just an incredibly convincing performance? That is the challenge that Noosemìa forces us to confront.